15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com.
Now entering the PNR Networks arena, coming down the aisle from Revere, Massachusetts, weighing in at absolutely none of your business. It's the Mistress of Mayhem, the Queen of Quips. It's time for Ring Around The Rosie with your hostess, Kim Brown.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week here on Ring Around the Rosie. I am your host, Kim Brown, aka Platinum Rose Lady, coming to you on the 30th of April, 2020. Getting closer and closer to the weekend, folks. It's not like any of us can go out and go party or anything like that, but, or should, because we should all try and, stay home and stay safe and all that with all the crazy things going on in the world. Right now. I hope everybody's keeping safe. Special shout out to a friend of mine who's been having some health issues with a family member. I hope everything's going okay, and solid love to my friend Jeff. Hope your mom's doing better, buddy. Okay, this is kind of a bouncing all over the road kind of a show this week. I hope y'all don't mind. I'm just kind of going a little bit everywhere. One thing that I would like to talk about straight up, off the start here is that it's something of a personal thing of mine. Everybody has things about their own personalities that they, like about themselves and don't like about themselves, and that kind of a deal. One thing that I've always felt is a sign that you're trying to be a straight up adult is when you admit that you're wrong. When you admit you're wrong about something. And it's not easy. It's not easy to admit you're wrong, but I will be the first to admit when I am wrong about something. Now, for the past couple of weeks, I have been exceedingly critical. I wouldn't say unfairly critical. I would just say exceedingly critical of AEW for the whole the Bubbly Bunch segments that they've been running. I just thought they were dumb. And that's my right. It's your right to think they were brilliant. I thought they were dumb. I made a remark last week on Twitter about how I thought they were dumb, and some people agreed with me and some people didn't. And that's the glory of living in America. You can actually say, hey, I think something's kind of a bad idea, or I didn't like that, or whatever. And you don't have to worry about being dragged out in the street and shot. You just have to worry about a bunch of people hiding behind computers and saying, oh, you suck, your opinions are stupid, and, basically treating you like, oh, because you're a woman, you don't know anything. That kind of shit, which is fine, whatever. This week they ran another segment of the Bubbly Bunch, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. Strap in, folks. But I have to be honest and straight up say that I found this week's segment actually really funny, and it just really cracked me up. The whole thing that was done, that they called it a Manitoba Melee. I'll get it right. Where they had this whole issue where the guys in the inner circle were getting in a fight via phone. There is social distancing, but this is going a little overboard. Oh, can you go overboard with social distancing? If it keeps people safe, I suppose not. But it was the whole idea that, one guy would throw a punch, the guy on the other end of the phone would react to the punch, and on and on and on in this daisy chain of weirdness. And I was like, okay, I kind of think this, I mean, I was watching it and I started to kind of grin. I was like, okay, this is actually kind of funny. And as it kept going, I was actually sitting there and the grin blossomed into a smile. And I actually really enjoyed it. You could tell that everybody who was doing it, who was involved in this little merry-go-round of weirdness, was having fun with it. And we got other people like Jungle Boy, other wrestlers in AEW like Jungle Boy, who I mentioned, because not seeing Jungle Boy on TV is like a day without sunshine. But I'll cope. And, other wrestlers, and that was cool. But when I'm like, is that Lou Ferrigno with a taser? The fuck? I was just completely, I was sitting there going, that's not, I was kind of like, that's Lou Ferrigno. And we got Jay and Silent Bob. We got all these other people, and we ended it with Vicky Guerrero. I was like, okay, that was completely mental and fun as hell. That was really fun. Oh my gosh, I really enjoyed that. So I have to say to everybody involved, I thought it was super fun, and I thought it was really great that all these other people that aren't wrestling, or, that aren't wrestlers, that probably could have said, nah, I don't want to do it. They did this, and they were part of something fun, and it made people laugh. I'm sure it made people laugh and cheered people up, and goodness knows, with everything being kind of, bananas as it is now with all of the stuff going on with COVID and all the other things, that giving people a reason to smile and joke around and stuff like that was fun. So whoever came up with the idea, kudos to you, and bravo to Chris Jericho and the rest of the guys in the inner circle and everybody else that was involved for a really fun piece that was really, fun and enjoyable and was great. I really liked it. So kudos to you guys. Good job. And I just, like I said, I haven't enjoyed it, but this week I really did. So I wanted to say I was wrong. I was wrong. Now let's wait and see if they come back next week and if it's still something funny and interesting. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to be positive about that, because goodness knows we need more positivity in the world right now, don't we? With things being the way they are. Also some other AEW stuff. Okay. Now this is, okay. This isn't going to come off well. After all of the nice things I was just saying, this isn't going to come off well, but I don't care. It's my show. The whole segment with Britt Baker, where, her talking about things that aren't cool and all the role model stuff and all that stuff like that. Body shaming is not cool. Body shaming is never cool. Knock it the fuck off. Don't wear glasses unless you're a doctor. I'm pretty sure the person that invented bifocals, a guy named Benjamin Franklin, you might have heard of him. He wasn't a doctor. And don't be fat. Okay, well, you know what? People can lose weight, but you'll still be a bitch. So, and I just didn't like that. I'm like, you know what? I don't dig body shaming. Body shaming is not cool. And I'm just kind of like, I was like, we really had to go there. That's fucking lazy. That's fucking lazy writing and shit. And the fact that it just made me want to punch her in the face, the character, not the actual person. I do know the difference, but I'm sorry. Body shaming, not cool. Don't do it. Can't deal with it. So 80s. Find something else. To be perfectly honest, if Tony Schiavone ever just finally snaps and just bitch slaps Britt Baker, I will kiss him full on the mouth with tongue if he wants it. What can I say? I'm friendly. In other AEW news, it's actually AEW WWE news, which could have probably been worded better, but I've been talking all day because I have to work from home. So thanks to my work putting putting the effort in to, make sure that I can still have a job and stuff like that. So I work from home, so I'm still talking on my headset all day long. So sometimes my tongue just goes, fuck you, we don't want to work anymore. I talked about last week how Cody Rhodes, and I can say Cody Rhodes because, again, my show, how he has put in a trademark to get his last name back. Because only in professional wrestling does that statement make anything that resembles sense. Any place else you said that, people would go, what the fuck are you talking about? But when you say wrestling, it's like, oh, never mind, I get it. Cody had to, put in the trademark to get his name back, his last name back, because the WWE had the trademark on Cody Rhodes. And they let it lapse because he doesn't work there anymore. File that under Durhay. So Cody puts in the legal papers, or however you do that stuff, which is a little complicated and well above my pay grade, to, do his thing, get his name back, and the WWE is fighting it. I'm like, excuse me, head desk moment. So much head desk. I'm sorry, what in the fuckity fuck are you gonna do with the name Cody Rhodes when the man doesn't fucking work for you anymore? Are you fucking serious? Are you absolutely honest to blog serious right now? This is, I'm sorry, I was like, they really can't be that petty, can they? And then I remembered who I'm talking about and went, oh, never mind. I forgot who I was talking about for a minute. Silly old me. Cody, dude, seriously, I really, honest to goodness, hope this gets resolved because I feel weird seeing your name, just seeing Cody. I mean, I like your name, man, and Cody Rhodes just sounds good. Cody, it's just, names work for some people. They work for some people really, really well. People like Prince or Madonna or Cher. Cody? Sorry. Also, congrats to Cody for moving on in the AEW tournament for their television belt. It's obviously now we've got the whole thing with him, with Cody that's facing Lance Archer in the finals. Big surprise there. I think pretty much everybody saw that coming. Because we've got this whole thing with Lance Archer and Jake Roberts in his ear whispering all this shit and having this big climactic thing between Cody and Lance. Could somebody please explain to me the whole Murder Hawk thing? Please? Seriously, I don't get it. I don't get what that means. I mean, maybe I just am not following it. Maybe I don't know what that means. I've never heard that term before. If this is a term that's familiar to somebody else, please tell me, because I don't get it. I don't get it. But there it is. Also, I gotta say, Darby Allin versus Cody. Oh my gosh, you knew this match was gonna be fucking sick. But crying out loud, those two guys practically fucking killed each other, and that was the opening match of Dynamite this week. I was like, oh man, this is gonna get completely crazy. The whole thing with MJF announcing that his hangnail is healed. I guess we should all light a candle. Now he's got a neck injury, and he takes off his scarf, and he's got a big, one of those big collars on there, the big neck brace. Joel Gertner, if you're watching, if you're listening, 2 words, gimmick infringement, dude. You should do something about that. Because I'm sorry, if there's anybody in the world that could verbally eviscerate MJF, it would be Joel Gertner. And I can't believe that I'm actually out here, like, hyping up Joel Gertner because I hated that motherfucker so much in ECW, which was his job. So, but seriously, Joel, if you're out there, buddy, you should look into that. Man's ripping off your look, dude. It's not cool. obviously, and I got to talk about this because I've mentioned him so much and being a huge fan. The whole match with Marco Stunt against Brody Lee, you know, everybody went into this being like, oh, Marco's going to get killed. Everybody but me. I didn't. I knew that Marco was going to go out there and give his all and leave it in the ring 100%. And no, he didn't win, but he went out there and showed that he could really go. And I just think that he's amazing and incredible, and I always will. And to Brody Lee and the Dark Order and all that, okay, you're evil, we get it. It's like, oh, for crying out loud. Also, real quick, the whole segment with Jon Moxley, the whole thing where he was talking about us getting together and being back and stuff like that. I love the fact that he was thankful for his wife. I was like, yes, that was awesome. Fuck you, WWE. Cause I mean, I actually heard Renee actually got shit for being on camera, at her home and John getting in the shot. I'm like, he fucking lives there. They're fucking married. What do you want? I mean, crying out loud. But I gotta say, the whole thing at the end of it, when Mox looks right in the camera and goes, call your grandma. I was like, at first I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then I was like, you know what? Jon Moxley is the only person in the entire fucking universe that could say something like, call your grandma, which sounds like a really beautiful thing, and make it sound threatening. Sorry, John. It was sweet. I would call my grandma, but I would call either of my grandmas, but unfortunately they're not with us anymore. But if your grandma's with you, call her. Call your grandma and let her know you're okay. I loved that. I thought that was just, it was such a weird way to end the segment, but at the same time, seriously, I was just sitting there being like a total chick and going, oh, that's so sweet. I was completely like, oh, total lifetime moment. I was like, that's so sweet. Couple of other things. Like I said, this is kind of a bouncing all over the road kind of a show. Today it was announced that someone else has been let go from, the WWE. They have, future endeavored Curtis Axel, which I was like, okay. Again, WWE showing their deep well springs of compassion by letting people go during a pandemic. Nope, not gonna do it. I did it last week. Not gonna do it again. Fuck you. But anyway, honestly, I've talked about my feelings about them letting people go like this, and to let go somebody that you didn't know what to do with in the beginning. He's had these runs where they kind of used him and they kind of didn't, and then, they had that whole thing with him and Damian Sandow, and then Hogan put himself in like bad situations and they dropped that. And I'm sorry, I happen to think Curtis is a great athlete, considering the pedigree the guy's got. I mean, geez. But they just never used him right. If anybody should go to AEW, it's him, because I think they could use him right. Speaking again of AEW, apparently those of us who thought that being the Elite might have been over because of the way that the Bucks were acting at the end of the episode last week, no, they're back. It's back. We're at episode 201. Fuck it. We all got worked, I guess. I don't know. I'm happy about it. I'm not saying I'm not happy. I'm completely happy about it because I think it's a great show. It's weird as hell sometimes, but nothing wrong with that. Not a thing wrong with that. Some of us gravitate more toward weird than others of us. You totally can't see me, but I'm totally raising my hand. And I think it's fun, and I think it's funny, and it gives people a chance to see wrestlers in different ways, and I think that that's great, So I'm glad it's back. I gotta be honest, there's all this talk about the revival going to AEW and such. And, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's a good thing. I get their whole gimmick is, oh, we don't do flippy shit. We're all into just beating people up and stuff. And it's not that I have a problem with that. I don't know what it was about their characters in the WWE that I just could not muster the energy to care. I don't know what that says. I don't know if that says I'm a terrible person or what. Hopefully if they do go to AEW, I'll be able to see them in a more positive light and see their work a little bit better and see them in storylines where they're actually not just the butt of a joke. And, that's hopefully what will happen if they do show up in AEW, which, I hope that they do, if that's what they want, I just want them to be working, I want everybody to be working if that's, if it's as long as they're healthy and, I think it's, pretty obvious. We all want this shit to be over. But unfortunately, nobody can wave a magic wand and go, Corona, be gone, poof, and it's gone. That would be nice, but, and I promise if I ever find that magic wand or my letter from Hogwarts shows up, I promise I'll jump right on that. That'll be right up there. That's on my list right after become an Omega level mutant and also become a Jedi. Or at least learn the Force. I don't think I'm not exactly Jedi material. I'm being brutally honest with myself. I'm not exactly Jedi material. I don't think I'm Sith material though, either, to be honest with you. I'm not good enough to be a Jedi, but I'm not bad enough to be a Sith. I'm just, I don't know what you'd call somebody that just runs around and does what the fuck they want. If there's a chaotic good level of someone that uses the Force, I think that would be me. I don't know. But, like I said, though, just being serious, I want everybody to find work and definitely, a lot of wrestlers out there, a lot of independent wrestlers and stuff, they're hurting right now. And that sucks because we get to watch IWTV on our Roku and we see so many shows from, late last year and things like that before things, got weird. And it's so cool. And we've seen some empty arena shows and, since, and those have been fantastic and bizarre, but, we want everybody to be back and working and, having a great time and going out there and doing what they do, going out there and entertaining the fans and, giving us great stories and great characters and, stuff like that. That's definitely what I think everybody, at the end of the day, that's what everybody wants. And it's so weird because people keep talking about how, I can't wait till things get back to normal. And I don't know, does anybody else when they hear, I can't wait for things to go back to normal? I'm like, fuck, I don't want things to go back to normal. I want things to be better than normal. I want things to have improved. Maybe that's just me and I'm being wildly optimistic, duckies and bunnies and rainbows me, because that's just, that I get that way sometimes. But that's just my bag. So it is what it is, kids. I can't help it. So the WWE has their next pay-per-view next week. Obviously, this coming Monday is going to be the go-home show. So it's Friday's the second go-home show on SmackDown, but Monday will be the go-home show on Raw for Money in the Bank, which is the following Sunday. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to it kind of in a way because I'm seriously sitting there going, this sounds like a video game. The way they've already recorded the shows, because we know they have it, that's not exactly been a secret. It just sounds like a video game. I'm going to be sitting there all night going, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and probably driving my husband insane. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be fun. I'm being optimistic. That's really all you can do. I'm trying not to go in with the attitude this is going to suck, and, I also want to bring this up, and I've brought this up before, but I do feel like it bears repeating because apparently some of you knuckle knobs out there just don't get it. People are, and there's a lot of this online, There's a lot of this whole, if you're a WWE fan, you can only be a WWE fan, or if you're an AEW fan, you can only be an AEW fan. Fuck that. No, you don't. No, you don't have to do, where is that written down in stone? Be a wrestling fan. I mean, if you want to be critical of something that one company or another company or even another company is doing, fine. But don't be like, well, you have to like the same thing I like, and if you don't, you're a bad person. I mean, what the fuck? Who hurt you that you have that kind of an attitude? I mean, crying out loud. I really don't get it. I don't. I mean, there's a lot of positive people still in the WWE. There's a lot of people that I still like to watch in the WWE. Occasionally the storylines kind of bother me, but there's been a couple of things in AEW that I've been like, yeah, okay, fine, about as well. You know, I'm a wrestling fan. I love all wrestling. And I mean, you know, I'm of the type of person, I like comedy shots. I like comedy matches. I like comedy wrestlers. I also like strong style, flippy shit, hardcore, blood and guts, you know, scientific. I don't care. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm gonna watch it. And just being like, oh, well, you have to like one thing. No, fuck off. I can't be bothered with that. I can't. I can't be bothered with that kind of stuff. The other thing I can't be bothered with are people who are uncomfortable about the idea of a strong woman actually making something and doing something that other people haven't done. Where I'm going with this is the fact that, AEW referee Aubrey Edwards has her own t-shirt, which, if you've seen it, is actually really cool. It's a really cool shirt. It kind of reminds me of the old I Want You, Uncle Sam posters that they used to have. And apparently some people have a problem with her having her own shirt, you know. It seems like all of these people are male. Surprise. To which I would like to just say, welcome to 2020. We got the right to vote a long time ago. We can pretty much do everything else that men can do. We don't get paid as much. But I'm sorry, that just irritates me. That kind of rampant, stupid behavior. It's a t-shirt. Calm down. You don't want to buy it? Don't. But being like pissed off because she has a t-shirt? Fucking really? Seriously, to quote Taylor Swift, you need to calm down. Rumor-wise, there's always rumors around wrestling, and there's another rumor that's been going around, and that's about, I don't actually have any stock in this, and I don't have a horse in this race, but there's this rumor been a rumor going around for about the last week and a half that, the WWE is going to be put up for sale. And I've heard everybody is, you know, every big company you can think of, this company, that company, the other company, is about to buy the WWE. And I'm like, until this actually happens and I actually see something get signed, I ain't believing nothing. I'm sorry, I'm taking that with a healthy dose of skepticism, which I think everybody else should too. And I just don't see it happening. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. So, that's gonna wrap up the ramble fest that is this week's Ring Around the Rosie. If you have any comments, questions, queries, complaints, money, that you'd like to send my way, platinumroselle@yahoo.com. You can follow me on Twitter at platinumroselle@twitter.com if you are so inclined to do so. And you can also check out all of the other cool things that are part of our little island of misfit toys. You can find them out on my webpage. You can go to all the other places that we have. My webpage and all of that stuff, for the most part, is done by my sweet, awesome, incredibly patient, long-suffering husband, TC, who puts up with my bullshit and loves me anyway. I do have a t-shirt available, speaking of a woman with a t-shirt. A woman with a t-shirt that was drawn by another woman, so there's all kinds of girl power here. Do people still use that phrase? To be honest, I hate that phrase, girl power. It's like, I haven't been a girl since Reagan was president. Calm down. But I do have a t-shirt available, and you can check that out. You can check out the links on our pages. And as I mentioned, you can check out all of the other podcasts we have out there, and we have a lot. Subject Cinema, 3 Minute Weekend, Tuesday Digidex, Catastrophe Vortex, Cave Babble, which is our friends Eric and Valerie. And we have a new one called Captive Audience Theater, which is TC and I watching terrible, terrible, awful movies during the stay-at-home quarantine things, so that, give you guys something fun to, you could check out these terrible movies if you want to as well. And all kinds of other fun things. We have a Patreon, a Patron Circle here. You can check that out. I have a role play channel on YouTube called Platinum Rose Roleplay. And you can check all that stuff out if you like. I would appreciate it muchly if you did. And that is going to wrap it up, cats and kittens, for another week here on Ring Around the Rosie. Signing off for another week. This is Kim Brown, a.k.a. Platinum Rose Lady, reminding you to try and be positive, send out positive energy into the universe because you might get some of it back. I love you. Be strong. I'm thinking of you. I'm hoping all of you are in a good place, and I'm wishing you all the best. And reminding you to take some time to stop and, if you can't smell the roses because they're outside, at least look at them, because roses need love too. Bye.
You have been listening to Ring Around the Rosie with Kim Brown, a production of PNR Networks. Keep in touch with all things about the show at http://ringaroundtherosie.net. Ring Around the Rosie intro performed by Eric Lyon. Ring Around the Rosie theme by Digital Juice. Join Kim for a new Ring Around the Rosie every Wednesday. Ring Around the Rosie is copyright 2018 PNR Networks, Boston, Massachusetts, USA.
15 years, blowing the doors off the competition, podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com